So it seems to me that if somebody isn't showing up, there's some level of maybe fear, uncertainty, unsure, not feeling good about themselves, self-doubt. I know in your book, FUD Factor, which is back there behind you, you talk about, you talk about like overcoming these things, how to overcome these things and why they're roaming around in our head. Could you go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So, when we were all born, we actually didn't have fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And then unintentionally, the world started imprinting it on us. So, one example I use in the book is, as kids, we probably all skateboarded. And yet, parents will say, hey, put a helmet on. Well,
no way.
The kid was not thinking, I'm going to get on the skateboard, I'm going to fall. Like it wasn't even in their thought process, but we injected it. And by the way, we do, all sorts of this. So and next thing you know, someone's saying like, hey, am I going to make the team? And then it's like, I'm not going to try out. Because it's easy. If I don't try out, then I'm not going to fail. And I'll tell you today, I think there's more expectations on people than there's ever been. Social media puts like pressures where are you cool? Are you invited to the party? Doing fun things with your family? I wish my life was as good as yours is on Facebook. It's like, hey, there's this expectation out there. So that accelerates fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And as you look to overcome it, one of the first things is, I have a saying, have the courage to fail and the faith to succeed. You just have to say, I'm willing to fail. And, short of, certain jobs, like if you're in the military, you're in law enforcement, you're in healthcare, most of us have day-to-day jobs that if you fail, things are going to be okay. So I'm not suggesting that, if you're the receptionist at the hospital, you try surgery, not going that far. But, if we don't have surgeons that are pushing for new procedures, we're never going to solve diseases and illnesses. But what I find interesting is culturally, companies can take that fear away, where you talk about your failures, you talk about your successes. I know here at Merchants in the last 5 years, we're a 60-year-old company. We went from 500 million to 2.5 billion. We had this tremendous growth, but we talk about our failures. We talk about businesses we entered that just failed, and what that sends a message to others that you can start a business or you can have an idea and it's okay if it fails, as opposed to, well, that team's no longer here, or sweeping it under the rug and not talking about it. But, I've never met anybody in any profession doing anything that's great that didn't fail a lot.
100%. Well, yeah. Think of the top salesperson in the organization, right? They fail more than anybody.
Yeah, they'll tell you, oh yeah, I closed 10 deals. I pursued 100.
Right.
And I closed 10. And then there's somebody else that's like, wow, I only pursued 20. And you wonder why, you
only did 20% of
a
it.
Third. Yeah. Wayne Gretzky used to say, whatever, I don't know the quote, but he used to talk about, how many shots he missed, not how many he made. Michael Jordan talks about, I hit X number of game winners, but here's how many I took.
Right.
But those are people that got to greatness. But, like if the three of us said, hey, let's go skiing for a weekend, and we all said, hey, let's really push ourselves. I want to be a better skier. If I never push myself, never fall, never go down a black diamond because I just don't want to fall then I'm probably not really getting better.
Right.
Which is, by the way, if I say I don't want to be better, that's fine. But if I say, no, I actually want to become an expert skier, I want to be able to be as good as my kids now as they're getting older, well, then you're going to have to sign up for, I'm probably going to fall a couple times today. I'm going to try to do better. I'm going to challenge myself a little bit more. But, sometimes we're just protective of ourselves. But, in companies, I look to leaders and say, are you creating a culture that allows failure? And if you are, and you talk about it, then you start to pull away fear. And I will tell you, if you're able to do that, you will grow faster, because employees have so many unbelievable ideas, just crazy good ideas, but they won't bring them forward if the feeling is, if it works, it's great. And if it's not, I could lose my job. I could get in trouble. That's going to take me off the promotion list. Whatever, then, you're going to have a big percent not bring those ideas forward.
A lot of businesses are a fear-based organization, right?
Absolutely.
That is not healthy.
No, it's not. And what it does is it breeds it then, and then next thing you know, you'll hear things like, yeah, we tried that a few years ago. I wouldn't even bring it up. Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, well, if you tried it a few years ago, well, let's take the business I'm in. Well, we tried that a few years ago. Well, if you tried telematics 10 years ago, it probably didn't work. If you tried electric fleets 5 years ago, there weren't as many chargers. So, but if you said, we're just not going to try this electrification thing. We tried it before, it didn't work. Well, in 10 years, you're going to be left behind. It's like Blockbuster not thinking streaming was going to catch on.
Insane, right? Like, how did they not catch that? And then
they did eventually, right?
Yeah, a little late. Yeah. So you have people that are raised in this environment where they're indoctrinated into self-doubt. They go to work in a fear-based fear-based place, like how do you break them? Like you're the leader. Now it's your role to break that cycle.
Yeah, it really starts with just changing your mindset. And, again, I go back to that saying, have the courage to fail, faith to succeed. It's finding, where are you comfortable? Everyone has some space in their life where they are very comfortable. For somebody, it could be video gaming. It's like, hey, I'm a risk taker when I'm video gaming. For another person, it could be a casino. Like, oh, all of a sudden they're this buttoned down person in the office and they never take a risk. They go to a casino and they take a risk. Another person, it could be a hobby. They're buttoned down at the office. They don't take risks and they're a skydiver. So it's like everyone's got it in them. It's how do you bring that person out to more dimensions of your life? And I think that's where it's finding that fearlessness inside all of us. We all have it. We were born with it. It's just channeling it. And sometimes if you're in an organization that really is fear-based, sometimes the answer is, I probably need to go someplace else. And that's okay. That's okay to say, if I want to get to where I want to go, if I want to, be in a more open-minded, this isn't going to work here. That is perfectly okay.